If you're here on my channel, it is pretty well likely that you want more for yourself, more for your life, more for your business, more for your relationships. You just want more, right? And it's this like insatiable feeling. Now, what I also know to be true is that I happen to attract a lot of really high performers into my world. And so I'm probably going to warrant a guess that from the outside, you probably have a pretty great life. Maybe you've got the husband, maybe you've got the kids, maybe you're driving the fancy car, you've got the house, you've got your parents that live down the street that want to come and help whenever they can, and you've got the family dinners and you've got the career, and you still want more. So something that I see a lot with people that come into my world is that they build this phenomenal life for themselves and it doesn't feel like theirs. This is something that I'm so familiar with because I have absolutely done it in the past as well. I had the relationship, I had the beautiful little dog, like I had the house, like I had the life that everybody told me that I should want. I distinctly remember having conversations with my girlfriends at the time and being like, I don't know if this is what I want. And they're like, Katie, are you for real? Like, look at who your partner is. Like, look at the life that you've created. And it was almost like this slap in the face of like, get back in your box, Katie. Get back in your perfect little snow globe and let me sit you on the shelf so that I can look at you whenever I want to look at you, right? And I'm wondering if you've ever felt the same, because it's like you're in this dome. And I know for me through that time, I could feel myself wanting to like walk up to the edge, right? And like that metaphorical glass, and you're like peeping out and you're like, oh my God, there's got to be more. And maybe you can even see what that more is, yet you can't feel it. And God knows you can't touch it, because that would mean that you'd have to rock the boat. You'd have to rock the snow globe, right? And you can liken this to your comfort zone. Like you can get to the edge and it feels really edgy to even, you don't even want people seeing you at the edge and looking outside of the globe. Because if other people know that you want more, oh my God, the judgments, right? Like I'm a small town girl. The judgment of even entertaining the dream of wanting more felt like a freaking white collar crime. So if this is you, I freaking get it. I actually, during this time of really feeling like I was trapped in this snow globe, I was searching for so many different strategies on like how do I keep myself sane and stay in here, right? And it wasn't until I read the book called The Alchemist by, I'm going to totally butcher his name, Paulo Coelho, I'm pretty sure, and I probably pronounced it wrong. But if you haven't read The Alchemist, it's one of the like OG personal development books. It is the most phenomenal book. I have the very strong belief that this book chooses you. So if this is the first time you're hearing of it, maybe it's not the time for you to read it. But if you've heard of this book a few times, like it's your sign to pick it up. This book completely changed my life. I distinctly remember sitting on my bed and I finished the book. This was during COVID, mind you. A couple of years prior, I've been having these conversations with my girlfriends. Maybe I want more. Maybe I want more. Shut up, Katie. Get back in your box. And with the best intentions on their part. And so I did. I was like, okay, yep, that's right. I'm in this beautiful snow globe. Let's just keep decorating the snow globe. Everything's great. And I was convincing myself that everything was great. It wasn't until COVID lockdowns where I'm sitting on my bed, I'm reading like mad because there's nothing else to do. And I finished reading The Alchemist. And I distinctly remember closing the book and sitting there and just going, fuck, it is now undeniable what I need to do. I need to blow up the freaking snow globe. I need to leave. I need to go on this quest, this adventure for more. Like I have to. I will never, ever, ever be satisfied if I don't exit the snow globe. If I don't leave this beautiful, cushy little bubble. I need to know what's available to me. I need to experience life. I need to grow up in the best kind of way, right? And if you haven't read The Alchemist, I won't ruin it. And there's so many different stories that pop up throughout this book. So I would read it maybe once a year because something different always comes through. But what came through for me through that time was if you stop listening to your heart, it'll eventually stop talking to you. And I realized in that moment that that was my biggest fear, was that I would get to be 80 years old and I'd just be this shell of a human. Right? Because I've just done what everybody else told me that I should do. Because I've just gone with the flow. And it's like, don't rock the boat, Katie, stay in the snow globe. Okay, yeah, no worries. I'll just sit here and I'll look pretty and I'll nod. And like, what's next? What's next on the checklist? Okay, like I've done the house and then like I've got the dog. Okay, next is kids. Okay, I'll do that. I could see that timeline for myself so freaking clearly. And it was in that realization of like, oh my God, like I'm just going to blindly follow everybody else if I like choose to not listen to this whisper that I'm hearing right now. And so I blew up my snow globe. And I want to tell you that if you're feeling the same, you absolutely do not need to blow it up. Back then, I definitely lacked the tools and resources to be able to exit the globe with ease without having to completely blow it to the ground, right? So if you're feeling like this, I think the number one thing is like, can you be honest with yourself? Please, God, can you be honest with yourself? Again, I know I've mentioned it before. My favorite question: if nothing bad would happen and no one would get hurt, what do you want? What do you want? And can you allow yourself to want it? Like, I distinctly remember being in that time of my life and feeling like I was like doing something illegal if I was journaling at all or like dreaming, right? So step number one is actually, can you allow yourself to dream? Can you allow yourself to imagine what life could be like outside of your current bubble, your current snow globe? What does it look like? Yes, it's going to be challenging to exit. That's fine. You don't need to worry about that yet. What could it look like outside? Who could you be? What could be available to you? And allow yourself to enter in this beautiful like dreamscape. Because when you're able to do that, if you continuously anchor into that and you put safety outside of the snow globe because it starts to become more familiar. One thing I know about our unconscious mind is that it will fight tooth and nail to keep you safe. From an unconscious mind's perspective, keeping you safe is actually keeping you in what's familiar. So if there's any level of uncertainty, your unconscious mind is like, fucking like, the alarm bells are going off. And so you almost like unconsciously trick yourself into just staying in what you know, because you never allow yourself to dream and to visualize and to actually, through that dreamscape, you're becoming more familiar with what could be. And by becoming more familiar with what could be, you start to anchor safety outside of your comfort bubble, outside of your snow globe. The more safety that you have out there, and what I always do with clients when they answer this question is we go, great, now let's reverse engineer it so we can have the least amount of casualties in the pursuit of what you actually want. Because if there's one thing that I really, truly want you to get, it's that you actually get to have everything that you want. You do. You are the main character of your freaking life. You get to have whatever you want. You just have to be willing to allow yourself to dream it into existence and then take the necessary steps to go and get it. And it doesn't mean you have to blow everything to the ground. And it can feel like that because you haven't allowed yourself to dream in all the different pathways that get to take you there. And I get it because, again, I did blow it up. I blew that sucker to smithereens. And at that time, it actually served me. Because it was like, you know what? For the first time in my life, I'm just looking after me. And it was really, really expansive for me. Another thing that I say literally all the freaking time is what once limited you will eventually expand you. What once was expansive will eventually limit you. I can like feel my clients watching this going, oh, here we go again. Because I would literally say it like 3 times a day. What once limited you will eventually expand you. And what was once expansive will eventually become limiting. So my first snow globe that I realized I created for myself, because we continuously do this, right? Like I guarantee right now I have a snow globe. My snow globe right now, I would say, is probably Australia. Like Australia is my little snow globe. I can like build my little city in here, my little town, my little perfect life in Australia. But I can already feel myself going to the edge like, what's out there? What else is out there? And I will allow myself to do that because that's how we actually expand, right? So in the past, that very first realization of being in the snow globe in my small hometown, the expansive thing was to go, you know what? I'm pulling the pin on the grenade and I'm dropping it. And I'm just going to blow this sucker to smithereens. Now, if I was to do that, that's not going to be the most expansive thing for me to do. That would actually be very limiting on my journey of actualizing the next level for myself. So now the expansive thing is to go, maybe I can just, there's got to be a trapdoor here somewhere. There's got to be a little crack. There's got to be, I can lift it up at the edge. There's a way to get out of this bubble without having to absolutely smash it to smithereens. So depending on where you're at in your journey, and you're going to know, and this is the self-honesty piece, you're going to know what's expansive and what's limiting for you because we always do. I feel like people come to me, like my clients and even friends, they'll come to me, they're like, what should I do, Katie? I'm feeling stuck. The truth is, you always know what the next step is. You genuinely always know what your next step is. You always know how to like unkink your hose, right? If you imagine that like the garden hose is like the conduit between everything that you want and the universe, right? And the tap's always turned on at full pelt. Like the universe is so willing to always give you everything that you want. Why would it not? And so the tap's always at full pelt, but you've got all these kinks in the hose. You've got all these little twists in the hose, in the garden hose, which means none of that greatness ever gets to come to you because you put all these blocks in place. And when I share this analogy, people will say, like, how do I unkink my hose? I can see all the kinks. How do I do it? You know how to unkink your hose. The real question you want to ask me is, how do I find the courage to actually do it? And again, it's about that visualization. It's about anchoring the safety on the other side. I love the quote. It's lost on me who it's actually by. I want to say it's like Marianne Williamson or something like that. And I can put it into the notes. We can figure it out. But it's the concept of like, you're not actually scared of failing. You're scared that you're like the most incredible, brilliant freaking creation that ever landed on this planet. Like, it's actually your fear of success that's holding you back. And so I encourage you to paint the picture, make it bigger, make it brighter. Like, more is more. Paint that picture as granular as you possibly can and anchor safety in it. And then unkink your freaking hose and know that the water's going to flow and you're actually going to get everything that you want. You get to break out of your snow globe. If you loved this, I really want to do more of them. So please like and subscribe and share it far and wide with everybody that you feel would benefit from this, because I would love it to land on their screens too. And I will see you in the next video.